Whisper of the Worm, ladies and gentlemen, it's back. With the Dev Insight article that was released on October 25th, a lot of weapons looked to be receiving both buffs and nerfs coming for the next season. The most fan favorite being for Thorn is its upcoming Catalyst release and how insane it looks, but there's one thing that got overlooked in the article release that was part of the sniper rifle change that was coming next season. In this article, it stated, and I quote, "We're continuing our trend of moving sniper rifles up by small amounts at a time to make sure we do not upset the encounter balance in PvE. Increase sniper damage PvE damage with a flat buff of 15%. This also applies to exotic sniper rifles that use heavy ammo." Now you see there, they kind of outline that to let you guys know, hey, we're talking about Whisper of the Worm here. Now most players, when they see that change, they instantly assume that Izanagi's Burden is back on the menu for DPS, in which it is. It's a very good exotic sniper rifle and it's really good for swapping weapons. It's powerful, providing damage for a swap loadout is probably unmatched with rockets or grenade launchers, but there's one weapon that's been quietly sitting in the background for some time now and has been just barely been outside the top damage for meta loadouts. With the launch of Season 23, I think Whisper of the Worm has a high possibility of finally making its return to the conversation of being a possible damage option in raids. Now, is this going to be the best DPS loadout in new raids and new dungeons? We don't know, but I did want to just outline some damage output for you, just to kind of give you what this sniper rifle is going to do. I hit 32 shots in a row with Whisper on Urt. I wanted to test Urt because it was the most recent raid with the light damage possibilities, and it's going to show you pretty much what it is the current meta in the game. And this put out a whopping 3.2 million just with Whisper. Now, I did hit some extra shots, so if you do the math here, it's 99,461 times 32. It's going to put you around the 3.3 million mark. Adding in my super that I used for the Warlock is another 345,000. So the reason why we're using div here is because mainly when you use Whisper, you're always going to want to make sure you crit. I wanted to demonstrate this version of DPS versus rockets because the most highly output damage in the game right now is pretty much a Strand Warlock doing Apex Predator bait and switch swaps with 2 swap weapons and also chaining their grenades and super while they're on cooldowns to do the highest output DPS possible. Now, Merc was using that loadout with Osteo to proc tick damage. I know you could use Witherhoard as well to juice the damage, but as you see here in the wipe, all I did was do 32 shots and super as well because he threw his, and I simply matched his DPS, just beat him by a little bit, but this is without the 15% buff. Now again, you can add more to this. You can add Tractor, you can add Tether, you can add Lumina. This can just keep getting better. And I just want to state, this will not be the best suitable DPS in the game because we don't know what the new dungeon is going to be like. We don't know if it's going to be close quarters or far, but it's just something to put on the table to remind everybody that a 15% buff to sniper rifles could definitely help Whisper be on the table again. The basic LFG strat right now would be like a Thunderlord with div and just easily melting bosses in a 2-phase or sometimes a 1-phase. So I think Whisper could be on that table to take that spot, just give people a different kind of meta because we all know that we're bored of rockets, we're bored of linears, and it's kind of just something to mention. If you wanted to know what each rocket does with like an explosive light or field prep clown cartridge, I did take the numbers as well. It's around 275,000 per rocket with explosive light and a buff with galley. So if you do the math times 10, it's around 2.7 mil. We'll just round up to 2.8. And then if you had a field prep clown rocket launcher, so you can shoot 10 shots and shoot the 2 rockets at the same time, you would be around 2.4 million. So again, I didn't really go over like every single damage versus damage everything. This video was just strictly to provide insight on Whisper of the Worm. Could be coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is it something you're going to want to run? Is it something that you're going to want to put in your loadouts? We haven't used it in a while. I know this, and I'm not trying to convince you to use it, but hopefully this makes you want to bring that gun right outside your vault, put that catalyst on, and go have fun with your friends and use something different.